Deep snow, sub-zero temperatures and high-speed cars in the forest. This is Rally Sweden. The second round of the 2012 World Rally Championship is not just a Swedish event, as most of the day one stages take place in Norway. And this cross-border rally could be one of the most hotly contested events in recent history, with 4 previous winners taking on the 2012 stages. Citroën drivers Sebastian Loeb and Mikko Hirvonen and the Ford duo of Jari-Matti Latvala and Petter Solberg will all have their sights set on the top step of the podium.
I was quite often competitive on this surface, but it's always very difficult to beat the specialists like the Finnish drivers on the snow.
Things have changed a lot since last year. Now I have a new car and everything, so I worked a lot on a car, on a test, so it's going to be very interesting to see now in the rally how it really works, but the feeling is very good anyway, so I think we have a good chance to win it.
It's going to be a long, tough rally. It will be nice to win, but as a team, it's very important also for the manufacturer's point. So here we find the balance, and first time properly on snow and ice, we have to maybe get a little bit into the rhythm.
We have done a good test. I think car is really good at the moment, and we really hope I could push and try to be there fighting for the podium places.
And don't discount Norway's Mads Osberg. He finished second here last year. Meanwhile, this is the first time Dani Sordo has tackled a snow event at World Championship level in a Mini. It could be a tough weekend for the Spaniard. The city of Karlstad is the home to Rally Sweden, with the stages situated to the north, including those 4 that stretch across the western border into Norway. Spread over 3 days, there are 24 stages in total, measuring just under 350 competitive kilometres. Rally Sweden is the first event where the all-new qualifying stage would be run. This saw all the drivers make one pass against the clock over the 4-kilometre shakedown stage to determine the road order for the first day. The stakes were high, and Thierry Neuville was the first to find the pressure too much. The fastest driver would get to choose his road position first for day one. The slowest takes whatever position is left. On a rally where being first on the road is a disadvantage, the slowest crew would more than likely find themselves leading the pack and sweeping away the top layer of snow. Ford Jari-Matti Latvala was the fastest through the first ever WRC qualifying stage, so he was the first to choose his road position for Friday morning.
We decided to take position 17. The idea behind it is that to try to get the roads be cleaner in the morning. We were afraid to going in the front that there is snow on the top of the surface. So we believe when it's be clearing, it will bring up a little bit gravel on the top and giving a more grip. So that's why we want to start far back.
The competitive action started with the traditional blast around the Karlstad Super Special stage, a head-to-head battle around this tight 1.9-kilometre circuit, and an early glimpse of the stars of the WRC for the hardy Swedish fans who'd braved the sub-zero temperatures. If the fans were hoping for Scandinavian success in Karlstad, they'd be disappointed. Spaniard Dani Sordo claimed top honours in stage 1 to take the early lead. Rally Sweden back underway then, and with that crucial road order for the following morning decided, let's take a look at how the drivers would line up. Brazil's Paulo Nobre will lead the WRC cars away, followed by Belgian youngster Thierry Neuville. Henning Solberg is the first WRC regular. He goes 10th into the quicker men through the shakedown stage, all choosing a lower road position in the hope that the top layer of loose snow will have been cleared. Petter Solberg goes 15th, with Jari-Matti Latvala 17th, followed by the Citroën drivers Hirvonen and Loeb, with Mads Osberg in 20th. To the real action the following morning, and the new look route of this classic winter event begins with the 27-kilometre Mitandafors stage. It soon passes across the border into Norway, right past Petter Solberg's family home. His wife Pernilla and son Oliver are preparing a warm welcome, along with thousands of Petter's loyal fans. They'll have quite a wait though. There are 20 World Rally cars competing, and on this first event, using the new qualifying system, Brazilian Paulo Nobre in the Mini has drawn the short straw. He's into action first and facing the loosest snow. A big challenge ahead for Thierry Neuville as well this weekend. The talented Belgian has never experienced the frozen Scandinavian forest before, so the first outing on studded tyres and what is his second ever rally in the Citroën DS3. Oh, but this looks like Nobre is already in trouble. That is clearly a very sick-sounding Mini, and unfortunately, the Mini Team Portugal driver is out just a few kilometres into the first forest stage. One Mini which is definitely still moving, though, is that of Dani Sordo. Terrific view from above and fresh from his impressive second-place finish in Monte Carlo. His confidence will be high, although a restructuring within the Mini project has effectively left the Spaniard driving for a private team. For now, though, he's focused on staying ahead of the chasing pack. Oyts Tänak has already impressed in his first two outings in a World Rally car. The Estonian youngster, a star in the making. He's looking very ragged here, though. And a big slide again, and he's really off the road this time. A frustrating setback so early in the rally for the Go Fast team driver, and a classic example of what can go wrong if you get sucked into those snowbanks. Back on the start line, it's the moment the Petter Solberg fans have been waiting for. Their hero is back on the Swedish snow in a full works team for the first time since 2008. 380 studs on each Michelin X-Ice North tyre biting into the ice. The fourth man off into Mitander's force. So while Norway's finest has just left the start line in Sweden, one of a number of Swedish drivers competing is already across the border in Norway in this epic stage. Patrick Sandell is a former junior WRC champion, and finally, 6 years later, the popular Swede is getting his shot at WRC power in a Mini John Cooper works. It's an impressive getaway too. Patrick, second fastest through so far.
Yeah, it was a good stage. Maybe a bit too careful on some sections, but first stage I enjoyed it like hell. It was fantastic to drive this car and just now build it step by step.
Back in the stage though, Petter is flying, and he should know these roads better than most as he's rapidly closing on his home where his family and fans are about to welcome him. Terrific support as ever for Solberg, and he's clearly taking to this Ford Fiesta RS with impressive speed. Petter has smashed Sordo's time, an incredible run for the Norwegian.
Fantastic stage, you know, fantastic. And yeah, I think they will beat me behind, so it's getting much cleaner road all the time, but I'm very happy with my stage. A lot of people out there, so hello to everybody on the farm, you know. Very nice when I came down there. Fantastic.
Jari-Matti Latvala selected the 17th spot in the start list, remember, after that pre-event qualifying, so we'll soon find out if Ford have got those tactics right. As Petter mentioned, the grip has definitely been improving with every passing car, but with Hirvonen, Loeb and Osberg still to come, will it be enough? Latvala is on full attack, and he is quicker than Petter. Jari-Matti in fine form, but his time could still be under threat from this man. Between Latvala and his compatriot Mikko Hirvonen, they've won every Rally Sweden for 3 years running. Teammates for the last 4 years. They're very much rivals now, and Hirvonen is incredibly quick, but it's not quite enough. He's 0.8 of a second slower than Latvala. Back in the stage, Sebastian Loeb has had a frustrating start to the morning. A last-minute decision to take 2 spare tyres in service has resulted in a 10-second penalty after checking out late. The 8-time world champion, though, is not one to dwell on such incidents. He's in full flight in stage 2. Not quite a match for Latvala and Hirvonen, but write this man off at your peril.
Sebastian, obviously a 3-minute gap there. Late out of service, what was that all about?
We took a little bit too much time to change something on the car, and so we had this 10-second penalty.
Mats Osberg famously finished second in Sweden last season and played some interesting tactics during qualifying to ensure he starts behind the leading runners. The Norwegian is absolutely flying on home soil, and looking at Latvala's time there's not much in this. In fact, there's absolutely nothing in it. Osberg sets an identical time to Latvala, and that's enough for the Ford man to take the overall lead. Osberg flying again in Sweden. Latvala now lies in second place, just under 2 seconds back, with Hirvonen and Petter Solberg still right in the mix. Loeb currently lies in 6th place after that penalty. We have an all-Scandinavian top 4 in Sweden. There's just 5 seconds between them, and the battle in the frozen forest continues after this break. Welcome back to Rally Sweden, where it's all very tight between the top 4, and the all-Scandinavian battle has stayed in Norway for stages 3 and 4. Out of the forest now and into this more open country. The roads are bumpy and more narrow, but unfortunately for Mads Osberg, with little testing in such conditions, the Norwegian is struggling to maintain his early pace. And fellow Ford driver Jari-Matti Latvala takes little time to capitalise. The 26-year-old won his first ever rally here in 2008 and is a proven force on ice and snow. With another strong time in the 20 kilometres of stage 3, the Finn moves past Osberg to take over the top spot. Ominously for the Scandinavian quartet leading the way, though, the all-conquering Sebastian Loeb is beginning to find some form. The Citroën star may not have won in Sweden since 2004, but he did win Rally Norway 3 years ago, and his precise style is well suited to these more technical roads. Loeb claims the stage win in the first pass through Opeka. The latest young driver to come through the Citroën ranks, meanwhile, is already proving what a natural talent he is. Thierry Neuville, in just his second rally in a World Rally car and his first on ice and snow, sets an incredible third fastest time in stage 4. Like Latvala, Petter Solberg has moved ahead of his struggling compatriot Osberg. He's just 4 seconds off the lead after stage 3. Here in the Kirkener test, the former world champion is hunting down the new leader. Oh, but he's got that corner all wrong. Proof, if needed, how much more challenging these tight, bumpy roads are. Petter just getting his lines slightly wrong there, and that is a really frustrating setback. Petter, the first of the front runners to slip up then, but two-time Sweden winner Mikko Hirvonen is excelling in the DS3. The Finn sets the fastest time in stage 4, and he's up to second following Solberg's slip-up. Another reshuffle at the top of the leaderboard then. Latvala is our new leader with Hirvonen second and a frustrated Petter Solberg slipping down to 5th. It's back into the forest for stage 5 and the first pass through the 21 kilometres of Finnskogen. Fresh from taking the lead for the first time, Latvala's not quite happy with the balance of the Fiesta at the moment. After crashing when leading the rally in Monte Carlo, the Finn is not about to make the same mistake twice, and he resists a maximum attack for the time being. With Latvala hesitating, this time it's Hirvonen who could benefit. Back on the blisteringly quick flowing forest roads that Mikko loves, we could see the lead change hands for the third time here. Well, there is Latvala's time, and I think his compatriot should comfortably beat it. Yes, Hirvonen's turn to take over the top spot. It's really building into an incredible battle.
Great stage time in there. You're getting the confidence now.
Yeah, a little bit. I have to just stop messing around and really gas it and, you know, just attack, so then it works.
Latvala's run out front was a brief one. He's now 2.9 seconds behind Hirvonen, with Osberg still third. Further back, Henning Solberg and Evan Brynildsen take Norway's tally up to 4 in the top 10. But what a morning it's been as the drivers take a break at the remote service at Kongsvinger in Norway. After 4 years as teammates at Ford, Mikko Hirvonen in a Citroen is battling with Jari-Matti Latvala in the Fiesta.
Are you a bit surprised that Mikko's pretty quick and he's leading the rally and first time in his Citroen?
I was expecting that. He knew how our car had to be set up for the snow conditions. So of course he took that information to Citroen and did it there. So I wasn't surprised. I was expecting that.
Jari-Matti said he wasn't surprised that you were leading the rally. Are you a bit surprised then?
I know after the test and after the rally I did that the car is very, very good and it's going to be fast. But so yeah, I knew we have a chance to fight for it. But I don't know, maybe a little bit surprised.
It's soon time to head back out for the afternoon loop. Conditions are still fine, but there's a lot of gravel appearing in some areas. Finding the correct line will be vital in these repeated passes. Swedish sensation Patrick Sandell, in his first ever assault on the WRC, has been working hard all morning in the Mini. He's looking a bit ragged here. Oh, and Patrick ploughing into the snowbank, the Swede. Very lucky to get away with that one. Russia's Evgeny Novikov has always been a man to watch, known for pushing to the absolute limit. And this year in Sweden, it's no different. Here he comes, and that Fiesta all out of shape as well. Back at the front, and after losing the lead to his former Ford teammate, Jari-Matti Latvala is pushing as hard as he can to reel in Mikko Hirvonen in the Citroen ahead of him. See how rutted the road is looking. But despite that, Jari certainly looks more comfortable in the car this afternoon. What a battle we have on our hands. Neither driver wants to lose face here in Sweden. And Mikko is doing everything in his power to keep that Citroen ahead of his former teammate. Again, you can see the gravel starting to show through on the stage here. And that could be costing the Finns some time.
Yeah, it is very close fight, and feels like the car is now, we have a lot more gravel and it feels like it's understeering a lot, so took it a little bit easy and steady, but you know, it's not too bad,
There is one corner in stage 7 though that's beginning to catch some out. A really lucky escape for Dani Sordo there, as he powers the John Cooper works back through the snowbank. We've already seen it's been a lively day for Ott Tänak, and he too coming close to disaster at that same corner. It hasn't been the best of starts for Sebastian Loeb in Sweden after that time penalty this morning, and he's approaching the same corner. He needs to watch out, but he's off the road too. A rare mistake from the world champion. He's stuck fast. Take another look, exactly the same mistake as Tänak. And Sebastian has got going again thanks to the help of the nearby fans, but it's cost a lot of time, and that's a disaster for the world champion.
I lost the rear in the left, so the car went too much sideways. I couldn't throw it back in the right direction for the right-hand corner behind, so I went in the snowbank and we were stuck on that.
And look what that has meant for the world champion. With almost 2 minutes lost, he doesn't even appear in the top 10. His hopes of a second Sweden win seemingly in tatters already. The all-Finnish fight at the front continues. Hirvonen still has the edge. And this intriguing battle between the two masters of the Swedish forest is just too close to call. Can Hirvonen hold on, or will his young rival fight back? The final action from day one in Sweden continues in a few minutes. We're in Sweden for the second round of the 2012 FIA World Rally Championship, where the Super 2000 category is also running. Time now to get you up to speed with the SWRC. Irishman Craig Breen claimed the first category win of the year in Monte Carlo, but on just his second ever outing on this specialised event, the winner of last year's WRC Academy has not risked an all-out battle with the early leader. Because that man is local hero Per Gunnar Andersson. The Swedish star has competed on his home event 7 times, and his experience has shown. The Proton driver has already pulled out a huge lead in the SWRC standings. Andersson's compatriot Pontus Tiedemund has ensured there are 2 local drivers in the podium positions after the opening day. A fine start on the Swedes' SWRC debut. It's been a rather more frustrating outing for reigning PWRC champion Hayden Paddon meanwhile. Struggling on his first outing in Sweden, the Kiwi star has had an eventful day and currently lies in 6th place. So it's Andersson with that dominant lead of more than 2 minutes over Breen, with Tiedemund in 3rd place and Saudi Arabian driver Yazid Al-Raji in a fine 4th. Back to the WRC runners now, and it's been a frustrating day so far for talented Finn Jari Ketämaa. Already running down in 13th place, his afternoon was about to get even worse. Jari off the road and out of the running. So the conditions and high level of competition continue to catch out some of the world's finest drivers. Then we saw Dani Sordo have a brush with disaster earlier, but he's still in 5th place. But he won't be much longer. Sordo off into the snowbank.
Derecha, 7 corta, 10 frenar, izquierda 5 poco lenta, izquierda 6 se cierra poco, 120 ahora.
The Spaniard clearly struggling, and the drama just keeps on coming on these Norwegian roads of day one. Something clearly amiss inside that Mini, and Danny going nowhere for now. Quickly out to check at the front of the car, but something seriously amiss. And after his incredible turn of speed in Sweden last year, Mads Osberg has become increasingly mystified by his lack of pace. A brake problem is the latest source of frustration for the Norwegian, and he slips further adrift of the leaders. Danny, meanwhile, will go no further on day one.
The temperature became really up, and we thought it was the snow in the front of the radiator, and he didn't have this. Was the one of the belts for the cooling was gone, and the car is so hot, and we stopped.
Sebastian Loeb, though, has begun his long fight back after his earlier off. He makes up 4 places to finish the day 7th on the leaderboard. The big talking point on this first afternoon, though, has been about tyres. With more and more gravel appearing for the later runners, the studs are literally being ripped from the Michelin's rubber.
6.5 minutes over crest, tight. Flat 6 right.
Petter Solberg is still getting huge support in the stages, and with the fastest time to finish the day, another Solberg attack is on the cards tomorrow. Jari-Matti Latvala, meanwhile, is still thriving after those earlier setup tweaks. Despite his deteriorating tyres, the Finn is still on the attack, and in the second pass through Thingskogen, Ford's number 1 charges back into the top spot, relegating Hirvonen back into 2nd. Like his compatriot, Mikko is really struggling for grip in his increasingly studless tyres, but for some reason it's affecting the Citroën man even more. By the end of stage 9, he loses 15 seconds to the new leader. Hirvonen is understandably a frustrated man. After a second pass through the Karlstad Super Special, this is how things stand. Hirvonen's late problem sees him lie 16.8 seconds behind Latvala, while Petter Solberg is up to 3rd at the expense of Mads Osberg. It's been a relentless battle for the top 2 drivers.
Oh, well, it looks quite good now. It was very close before the end of the before the Torsby stage. For sure Mikko and will be pushing hard. Petteri is not so far either, so I need to keep going as I have done today. There is no time to relax.
Disappointed about the last stage. Otherwise we had a really good day and we were in a good fight with Jari, but now in the last one just didn't have any traction anymore from the tires, so I just lost a lot of time because of that. Definitely I'm not gonna save the tires. I mean, we have to look at the data with the engineers and see if we can find some help from the setup to help me save the tires, but otherwise I just have to go flat out and hope for the best.
What a first day it's been, and there are still 2 more to come. We're back in Sweden's Värmland region tomorrow, so make sure you join us again for the Day 2 highlights.
It's going to be a new fastest time now if he's keeping the pace.
L'arrière est sorti de la trace, on a pris la neige molle, la voiture s'est embarquée, j'ai pas réussi à la ramener, donc on est allé droit sur un mur de neige et on était enlisé dans le mur de neige.
Welcome to day 2 of the 2012 Rally Sweden. The world's best may be taking on snow and ice, but these forest stages are some of the fastest on the WRC calendar. Speeds in excess of 220 kilometers an hour in temperatures approaching 30 degrees below freezing. This is the ultimate winter test for both man and machine. It was an action-packed first day here in Sweden, and as expected, the treacherous driving conditions kept the drivers on their toes. Evgeny Novikov very nearly overstepped the mark on stage 6, while Swedish star Patrick Sandell also got lucky. Estonia's Ott Tänak didn't look comfortable on the white stuff, and he too had a moment to reflect on his actions mid-stage. Those three got away with it, others were not so lucky. Finland's Jari Ketämaa had a frustrating day one in Sweden, and it eventually came to an end with the car stuck in a snowbank. Swedish touring car star Richard, the lower runners struggling in the snow. Dani Sordo paid a visit to a snowbank. The ensuing damage was terminal, and the Spaniard pulled over and joined the retirement list. The biggest news of the day, however, arrived when world champion Sébastien Loeb did battle with a snowbank and lost. His Citroën was stuck fast, and the Frenchman had to rely on some local help to get him back on the road. It cost him 2 minutes in the recovery, and Sébastien ended the day down in 7th and out of the running. While others succumbed to the frozen forests, up at the front a battle royale was emerging, and unsurprisingly, it was locked out with Scandinavian drivers. Norway's Mads Østberg began the day well, taking an early lead, but setup problems meant he dropped off the pace to end the day 4th. His fellow countryman Petter Solberg was also battling for the lead, but this slip-up cost him dear. The Norwegian just got slightly offline and slid wide. 12 seconds were lost. And that left two Finnish stars and former teammates Mikko Hirvonen, now at Citroën, and Jari-Matti Latvala at Ford. Neither driver wanted to lose face, and both were out to prove their car was quicker. Maximum attack was the only answer, and over the course of the day, the lead changed hands 3 times. Cue the final stage, and with the gravel starting to appear on the road, Hirvonen's Michelin snow tyres deteriorated quickly. Latvala had managed his better, and with that, the overnight lead went the way of Ford and Jari-Matti. That late frustration for Hirvonen saw Latvala pull out the gap out front to 16.8 seconds, with Petter Solberg just 1.8 behind second place, Sébastien Loeb down in 7th. Day 2 sees the cars leave Norway behind and head back to the traditional Swedish stages. 8 lay ahead, including 2 runs of the Vargosen stage, which takes in the famous Collins Crest jump. In total, 118 kilometres of competitive action. We also see the return of the reverse running order system to remove any disadvantage to the overnight leader for being first on the road. So once again, Brazilian Paulo Nobre leads the pack away, followed by the restarting Richard Göransson and Ott Tänak. But we have to look towards the bottom of the running order to find our leaders. Østberg goes 17th, followed by Solberg, Hirvonen and Latvala. It's back out to the traditional roads in Sweden's Värmland region for some of this event's classic stages. None more so than the legendary Vargosen, the site for one of the WRC's most iconic arenas at Collins Crest. Named after Scottish rally royalty Colin McRae, the fans are out in force. Ott Tänak, at just 24 years old, is one of the rising stars of the WRC, but his second attempt at Rally Sweden is becoming one to forget. Fighting back from a day 1 off, though, Tänak is again displaying his typically aggressive style. He's certainly up to speed, and here comes Collins Crest. A huge jump from the Estonian. Ivan Brynildsen is one of a number of young drivers making their WRC debuts this weekend, and he has certainly impressed, running in 10th at the moment. And the Norwegian not holding back there either. Back at the start line is 8-time world champion Sébastien Loeb. The Citroën Spike Michelin's biting into the snow. Incredible acceleration for these cars despite the ice. As has often been the case in recent years, though, the greatest rally driver of them all has been unable to master the frozen forests. Fighting back from a day 1 off, he starts down in 7th. For now, though, Loeb is being held at bay by Henning Solberg. The Norwegian veteran knows a thing or two about winter rallying, and he will not give up on 6th place without a fight.
6 right minus half long, keep in. 70, 6 left, oops, 70.
Russian youngster Evgeny Novikov has made a career of driving up to and over the limit. With one of the most experienced co-drivers in the sport alongside him, though, the M-Sport driver has calmed somewhat recently. Will Denis Juridet be able to rein Evgeny in over Collins Crest? Well, a fairly reserved effort. Novikov and Juridet remain in a comfortable 5th. It will take some catching, the 4 Scandinavians leading the field, though. Mats Osberg led briefly on day 1, but has gradually drifted away from the fight at the front since. Angered by a pre-stage puncture, it's an aggressive display from the Norwegian youngster in Vargosen. Quickest so far, it's been some drive from Mats. And that angry drive from Osberg will apply a bit of pressure on fellow Norwegian Petter Solberg, who started the stage just under 14 seconds ahead. The constant grip changes in Vargosen this year are affecting a number of drivers, all important rhythm, and worryingly Petter seems to be suffering more than most. He's almost 5 seconds slower than Osberg.
Keep left over crest, 30 caution, keep left over crest, need 6 right.
Nice and controlled over the crest, though. With Solberg's pace fading slightly, it allows Mikko Hirvonen to focus his attentions on chasing down the rally leader. After losing time to Latvala late in day 1, the Citroën Total driver has almost 17 seconds to make up, and the 2-time Sweden winner is on the attack. With Latvala focused and ready on the start line, the Battle of the Finns is about to resume. Here we go then. The former teammates and compatriots are both desperate for this victory. They are the best in the world on these roads on current form, and neither is willing to give an inch. Ford man Latvala, like Hirvonen, is right on the edge. And closing on the split time after 6.28 kilometres. We'll soon find out who's made the best start. Oh, he's slower. Round 1 to Mikko. But can Jari fight back? The Citroën DS3 was well suited to the tighter, more technical early kilometres. It clearly helped Hirvonen. Let's wait for his reception over Collins Crest. I'm sure there's a few Finns out there in the forest. The spectators are loving this battle, and well they might. Mikko and co-driver Jarmo Leitonen keep the hammer down through the final few kilometres. Stage cleared, but does he think it's been enough?
I tried to push really hard, but obviously, you know, he can see my splits and definitely he's fighting back, but I'll try. I'll really try to keep pressure on him and, you know, go as fast as I can.
Well, Mikko not sounding too confident there as he lost some momentum, perhaps. Back with Latvala. Here comes Collins Crest. And a nice tidy leap. The stage does open out a lot over the last few sectors. It may have suited Jari's natural driving style more. The Fiesta being thrown through the final few bends into the flying finish. Now he may actually beat Mikko here. Yes, an impressive fight back from Latvala, and he takes the first stage win of day 2.
It looked like in the beginning of the stage Mikko was already 2 seconds ahead of me, so slightly stressed on that moment. But it's a part of the stage. I have never driven very well on that first 10 kilometers, very twisty. It's always going very bad for me, but after that I find a good rhythm on the fast wider road.
So Jari pulls another couple of seconds ahead of Mikko, and behind the Finns the battle of the Norwegians has closed up as well. Osberg is now within 9 seconds of Petter Solberg. Quite a start to day 2 here in Sweden. Latvala and Hirvonen are at it again. Join us after the break. This fight has only just begun. Welcome back to the Värmland region of Sweden with Ford's Jari-Matti Latvala leading the way. We now move on to another pair of Swedish rally classics, Sågen and Frederiksberg. It's been an eventful weekend so far for Ott Tänak. He's been getting well acquainted with the Swedish snowbanks. And this is a learning year for Ott in the WRC car, of course. Oh, not again, and this is Becoming a rather familiar sensation for the Estonian, the Fiesta, well and truly beached once again. Sebastian Loeb suffered a similar incident yesterday, but the world champion has been powering his way back up the leaderboard. It's been an impressive fight back so far. He's pushing really hard. Oh, perhaps too hard. That's a spin for the Citroën driver. If you needed proof that Seb is on it, there it is. A quick recovery, but that's more time lost for the Frenchman. Yevgeny Novikov remains in a comfortable 5th position, and again displaying his newfound maturity. Despite a misted-up windscreen distracting him briefly, the Russian's impressive pace continues. Petter Solberg lost time with a stall at the start of stage 12, and it could prove to be costly. Massive jump there, but remember, he is embroiled in a battle with fellow countryman Mads Osberg for that final podium position, and that stall will not have helped his cause. Running ahead of Petter on the road is Czech driver Martin Prokop. He's the first man to admit that snow is not his favoured surface. Martin just keeping out of trouble this weekend, but still running in the points positions in 9th. Back to the battle at the front, and Mikko Hirvonen is the man leading the charge for the Citroën team. You can see here why these roads are some of the quickest on the calendar. Mikko looking neat and tidy through this spectacular sequence of crests. This is not just about who's the quickest, it's increasingly about who wants it the most.
But I really love it. Really good. Nice to have a good fight and be able to fight with new cars as well. So I'm very pleased even for this. But for sure, I wanna try to take some time out of him and put some pressure on him. So it's good. It's good.
Joining our rally leader now. Just look at these stunning shots from our helicam alongside the lake in Frederiksberg. Jari is running behind Mikko on the road today, but he can't afford to ease off. He's leading the charge for Ford, and like Mikko, is desperate to outpace his former teammate. Jari perhaps not looking quite as tidy as the Citroën driver. As he comes towards the end of the stage, keep an eye on the clock. And he is slower than Mikko by 1.9 seconds. His advantage chopped to just 18.
Mikko was doing a very good set. I didn't have a comfortable feeling at all. It felt very, very slippy and difficult to get the grip on this stage. So I took it a bit too steady. I know at the beginning of the stage I need to improve.
A quick blast through the 1.9-kilometre Hagfors sprint stage follows. It's another treat for the Swedish fans to get a close-up view of the action. And it is a memorable moment for Ott Tänak, the young Estonian claiming his first ever WRC stage win. However, after losing 20 minutes in that snowbank earlier, he's still a long way adrift of the top 10.
Maha. 20, parem 2. 20.
Latvala pulled out another 0.6 of a second on Hirvonen in Hagfors, and Petter Solberg edged slightly further away from Osberg. Further back, that spin means Loeb is still stuck in 7th, behind Henning Solberg. A short drive to the service park at Hagfors Airport follows, and a respite for the 2 men fighting for victory.
Now, you've been teammates with Mikko for a long time. I mean, have you thought about what's going on inside his head? A bit of psychological warfare.
It is it's a little bit of a mental game between the stages. We talk, but it's more serious than earlier when we were teammates. So you don't talk about the setup changes anymore.
I'll really try to stitch him up on between the stages, but he's getting older and more experienced as well, so it's not so easy anymore.
Because you know Ford inside and out. I mean, really, you must have an edge.
Well, let's see. I'll try to do something, but like I said, he's been very consistent in the last, especially end of last year, so it's not so easy anymore to make him nervous.
Something that Rally Sweden has always had in abundance are fans. They travel from all over the Scandinavian countries to line the forest stages with their fellow WRC supporters and take in the rally atmosphere. These guys don't need music to have a party. A snow-filled forest and some rally cars jumping through the air is all that's required. And it's at the infamous Collins Crest jump in Vargösen that each year thousands of fans flock to celebrate the WRC.
We have been here from yesterday and sleep in our tent.
It's not just the snow and fast-flowing stages that make Rally Sweden so special. The loyalty of the Scandinavian supporters makes this round of the WRC unmissable.
Very slippery, icy. Very icy. Icy, icy.
So the fans ready and waiting for the second pass over Collins Crest. But one driver who's really struggled to make it to them is Armindo Araujo. 7 minutes late out of service after changing his exhaust manifold. That is still a very sick-sounding Mini. Back in the stage, another Mini driver is fast approaching. And the fans will certainly be looking forward to seeing this man, local hero Patrick Sandell. And the former junior champion is going to catch Araujo's ailing car. Well, the Portuguese driver being very sportsmanlike, driving his car off the road to allow Sandell past. The Swedish star's 8th position is safe for now.
I really like this stage second time through. Much better rhythm all the time, but I lost maybe 5 seconds because Armindo was parked in the middle of the road after he went off. But when I came, he went down in the ditch again. So I thank you for that.
Ahead of Sandell on the leaderboard, Sebastian Loeb amazingly continues to languish down in 7th. Finally, though, there is a sign of life from the imperious Frenchman in this second pass through Vargösen. He takes 11.5 seconds out of Henning Solberg's advantage.
Started okay. I've done a good stage. It's hard for the tire, so we'll have to take care about it, to look and to do the right changes, because it will be very hard for the studs until the end of the day.
So concern from Loeb about tyre wear. It was an issue that a number of drivers struggled with on the first afternoon. A possible worry for Petter Solberg also as he continues to push. Whoa, he kept his foot hard to the floor there to power out of that slide.
6 left, half long. The crest opens 50, 4 left, minus half long.
And spectacular stuff from Petter over Collins Crest too, but once again, he's slower than Osberg. Back at the fight at the front, and Latvaler's on the attack again after the split time at 11 kilometres. He's up by 3.3 seconds. Ahead in the stage, Hirvonen is also on the absolute limit. An incredible view from above displaying how skillfully the Citroën man slides the car from corner to corner using all of the road. And he flies over Collins Crest one more time. Stage cleared for Mikko.
Yeah, I need to send regards to Cedric. My engineer. Car was absolutely perfect, so worked really well, and I tried to be sensible with the tires as well, so Jari-Matti might win me a little bit on this one, but let's see overall how it's gonna go.
A confident-sounding Mikko, despite the early surge from Latvaler in here. The rally leader is fast approaching Collins Crest. So one last chance for the fans camped out there to cheer him on. Tidy landing from Jari, and his time is just 1/10 of a second quicker. So little change in the overall standings. Hirvonen remains just under 19 seconds behind Latvaler in the fight for third. Osberg continues to edge closer and closer to Petter Solberg. Hirvonen has 3 more stages to find a way of catching the leader. They're coming up after the break, and we'll also bring you right up to date with the SWRC competition. Welcome back to the frozen forests of Sweden, the playground of the WRC this weekend, but this famous event is also hosting the second round of the Super 2000 category. A chance now to get you up to date. The SWRC has so far been dominated by local star PG Anderson. The Proton Citroën Neo has been flying through the roads of his homeland this weekend, and despite a few setup issues today, PG looks almost unstoppable at the moment. Craig Breen has been doing his best to chase down the leader. Terrific commitment over Colin's crest earlier there from the Irishman. With Anderson struggling slightly in the morning, Breen was able to claim a couple of stage wins, but he's still a long way adrift in second. In third place, local wildcard entrant Pontus Tiedemund has also been in stage winning form. A bit of understeer aside, it's been another strong day for the man in third. For Alistair McRae, meanwhile, there was an emotional return to the crest, so famously named after his brother Colin. It's been a disappointing return to Sweden after an 8-year absence. Already running under the Rally 2 restart rules, it's been a frustrating day for the Scot. McRae is currently down in 6th, but up front Anderson's lead still stands at well over 2 minutes, with Breen in a comfortable second place and Tiedemund in the final podium position. Back to the big boys now for the final 2 forest stages. And it has again been a disappointing day in the Swedish forests for 8-time world champion Sebastian Loeb. There is finally progress for the Citroën Total man in stage 16 when he overhauls Henning Solberg to claim 6th. But again, his luck doesn't last long. After hitting a rock, a puncture towards the end of the final forest stage in the dusk costs him another 14 seconds.
You hit anything?
No, yes, I stone on the road, but in the line. So I couldn't do anything, I didn't see it.
Just when you get a position, you kind of start to have problems. Every time you move up, you go back down. Yeah.
Petter Solberg has also failed to make the impact he had hoped for on this second day. After adjusting his setup to be closer to his teammate Latvalas, though, the Norwegian's pace immediately improves with a second fastest time in stage 16.
Slow 40 line, 6 right minus 1 pints, 5 minus pints, 8 minus. Into 6 left minus half long, and flat 6 right half long, opens 40, keep right over crest 60.
Mads Osberg's valiant pursuit of Solberg wasn't held up for long though. Despite his Fiesta switching to launch mode mid-stage briefly, he immediately closed up again on his compatriot. This battle for third looks set to go down to the wire. As does the fight for top honours for the latest Rally Sweden victory. As expected, tyre conservation strategies played a big part on the second loop, with Latvala not too concerned about the necessity of sharp studs later in the day. He goes for it on the penultimate forest stage, beating Hirvonen by a massive 5 seconds. The Citroën man had in parts lost the time in an effort to conserve his own studs for the second pass through Frederiksberg, and it did have an effect. In the gathering gloom in the final proper stage of the day, Mikko claws back 2.6 seconds by setting the fastest time, but overall it had made little impact.
You've run a kind of a different strategy to Jari-Matti on the tyres. Has it worked?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I know my tires are completely shagged at the moment. I don't have any studs left, but we'll see if it works out. And okay, we still have one short stage to go, which is very icy, and you know it can be very tricky over there.
After another pass through the Hagfors sprint, Latvala's lead stands at 23 seconds, while Solberg's advantage over Osberg is just over 11. Loeb's managed to hold on to 6th despite his late puncture, but is the leader's advantage enough to hold on for the win?
Are you going to go maximum attack, or are you going to think about second in the points for the championship?
No, not yet. I'll still go flat out, especially in the morning, and see if we can maybe rattle Jari-Matti a little bit. And you know, it's only small mistake for him, and then we are right up there. So I'm still going to push.
Now, of course, Mikko wants to win, and he's going to attack in the morning to see what is my pace. And so I can't start to back off. I really need to keep going as I have done today.
And what about the championship, though? If you're really fighting for victory tomorrow, you've also got to think longer term for the rest of the year, though. You don't want to roll the car up into a ball, do you?
No, you really need to think about the championship. If I can carry on like I have done today, then it should be, hopefully it would be enough. and I have a little bit now more margin than yesterday evening, so gives a little bit more confidence for tomorrow, but for sure I need to be really wake up from the first stage on.
The victory is still up for grabs here in Sweden then. It looks like a Finn is going to win, but will it be Latvala or will it be Hirvonen? You'll have to join us tomorrow for the final day's highlights to find out.
La journée, hein. C'est pas mon rallye en tout cas. On a crevé encore dans la dernière là et on perd du temps. Bon, on devrait être 6e quand même à la fin de la journée là. On était ex-aequo avec Henning au départ de celle-là.
Yeah, it's been more difficult day today than it was yesterday for sure.
Well, it's been very close with Jari-Matti all the way through, and I really tried to push hard to take some time out of him, but
we did a very good afternoon in the Sågen especially was really good. Mikko was very strong in the Fredriksberg, but overall I think it's been a good day.
Welcome to the third and final day of Rally Sweden 2012. These frozen forest roads have tested the skill and endurance of both driver, mechanic and machine. Only the best survive to the third day. Rally Sweden takes no prisoners. The temperatures at the start of day 2 dropped to a brutal -20, but it didn't stop the fans from lining the stages. The bravest spent their day at the infamous Collins Crest jump. Estonia's Ott Tänak took the award for the biggest leap, a massive 32 metres. A good opening stage, but he then slid off the road and got stuck in this snowbank for 20 minutes. Patrick Sandell spent day 2 battling with Martin Prokop for 8th place. The local man has so far put in a solid WRC debut drive, but it all very nearly came to an end on stage 15 when he came across a recovering Armindo Arrojo, who'd had to drive his Mini back into the ditch to avoid a collision.
When I came, he went down in the ditch again, so I thank you for that.
After his day 1 woes, world champion Sebastian Loeb was reeling in Henning Solberg ahead of him, but the Frenchman's hard work was undone on stage 12 when he clipped a snowbank, whipping his Citroën DS3 into a spin, and more time was lost. Up at the front, it remained a Scandinavian top 4. Unable to match the pace of the rally leaders, Petter Solberg and Mads Osberg were locked in a battle for 3rd place. The old hand was showing the young pretender how it should be done. He held the advantage until this huge moment. It was proof of how hard he was having to push. In the fight for the lead, Jari-Matti Latvala held a slender 16-second lead over former teammate turned Citroën driver Mikko Hirvonen. Latvala was on a flyer. The new Ford #1 came into the day with a renewed confidence and began to extend his lead over Mikko. Meanwhile, Hirvonen's concerns turned to tyre degradation. In an effort to protect his Michelin X Ice snow tyres, he lost a further 5 seconds to Latvala. It was a gamble that did not pay off for the Citroën driver. Citroën were plagued with tyre problems. Sebastian Loeb, who had by now passed Henning Solberg to claim 6th place, hit a rogue rock in the middle of the final forest stage. It ripped a hole in his front right tyre.
Just when you get a position, you kind of start to have problems. Every time you move up, you go back down. Yeah.
No such problems for Jari-Matti Latvala. The Finn was seemingly unstoppable. A solid, mature drive over the second day with no mistakes left Ford's #1 23 seconds clear at the front.
Yeah, at the moment it feels good feeling. I'm quite confident at the moment.
So Jari-Matti Latvala is our overnight leader heading into day 3 ahead of Mikko Hirvonen. Petter Solberg lies 3rd, but Mats Osberg is a mere 11 seconds adrift in 4th. Here's what lies ahead on the final day. 6 stages and 85 competitive kilometres, the last frozen test in Sweden. It all ends with the power stage in Hagfors, where extra points are up for grabs for the top 3 fastest drivers through the stage. Reverse order once again under the all-new 2012 starting regulations, so Paolo Nobre leads the WRCOA for the 3rd time this weekend. He's the road sweeper in Sweden. The men we'll be concentrating on today will all start further back. Mats Osberg goes 16th, followed by Petter Solberg in the battle for 3rd, while the fight for the lead is between Hirvonen and Latvala. They go 18th and 19th respectively. Blue skies over the frozen forest, and after a light dusting of snow overnight, conditions are perfect for the world's finest rally drivers to fire up their 300 brake horsepower engines and get the final day of Rally Sweden underway. Appearing through the trees in the Lesjöfors test is Martin Prokop. The Czech star marks the first of our top 10 battles to focus on. The former junior champion is in 9th, but starts the day just 2.6 seconds behind Patrick Sandell. Fighting for national pride as the leading Swedish driver, though, Sandell in his WRC debut will be determined to hold on. It has been a remarkable run so far from the Mini driver and his veteran co-driver Staffan Parmander, who of course won this spectacular event 3 times alongside Swedish legend Kenneth Eriksson. They pull another 7.5 seconds away from Prokop. One of 4 Norwegians in the top 10, Henning Solberg, had managed to hold off 8-time world champion Sebastian Loeb for most of the second day. He's less than 5 seconds behind the Frenchman as the final day begins. Pace notes from Austrian co-driver Ilka Miner. The Go Fast crew get the hammer down to begin their pursuit of the Citroën star. And waiting at the start line, the legend, that is Sebastian Loeb. The Monte Carlo winner is away into Lesjöfors. He suffered a miserable run of luck so far in Sweden, but he will have one eye on the 5th place of Evgeny Novikov ahead of him. The Russian youngster, though, has produced one of his finest performances in the WRC this weekend. And with a gap of more than 44 seconds over Loeb, the M Sport Ford driver will be confident of holding him off over the 80 kilometres of the final day. Coming up to the flying finish now, we'll soon learn how much of a fight he's putting up. Wow, that is an impressive drive from Novikov. 4 seconds quicker than the world champion.
Evgeny, you can smile now. You're asking what the time was. Quicker than Loeb. You make a gap on the world champion.
Yeah, of course, as I already said yesterday, I don't let him catch us today for sure, and I will go flat out and will try to keep my 5th position. There's no question. 5th position or nothing for sure.
Well, that is a confident young man. At the other end of the experience scale, the last driver to beat Loeb to a world championship is on the start line. Petter Solberg has his own young gun to worry about, with his 24-year-old compatriot Mads Østberg starting just over 11 seconds behind him. Petter needs to attack from the off this morning. Getting really sideways out there already. Østberg is up ahead in the stage, and for a man who grew up idolising the 2003 world champion, it would be an incredible achievement to catch his fellow Ford driver. Mads is giving it everything here, really narrow as well at times. This is rapidly becoming the battle to watch on this final day. Østberg has done all he can. He's thrown down the gauntlet to Solberg. It's up to Petter and co-driver Chris Patterson now. The Ford Fiesta RS really being manhandled through the final few corners. You can see Østberg's time at the bottom of your screen, and there's not going to be much in this. But he's slower. The gap between third and fourth is now less than 10 seconds.
Better first one of the morning, just a little bit of time lost, so it's not too bad.
No, it's not bad, but I would like to. I was zero on the split. I lost everything at the end here, so just have to keep on pushing. That's it.
As the battle for the final podium place intensifies, back to second place Mikko Hirvonen as he attacks over the crests. The gap between first and second was 23 seconds coming into this final morning, remember. All the Citroën man can do is push as hard as he dares through Les Joffors and hope he can maintain the pressure on his former teammate. Mikko is through stage 19. Let's have a word with the Finn down at the stop control.
I was not confident at all and had a couple of big slides, and it was very slippy on the narrow road, so I took it steady. I didn't want to make a mistake when I didn't have a good feeling, so unfortunately it went now this way, but I couldn't push. I didn't want to risk it all.
Mikko has done all he can then back in the stage. It's now down to the rally leader to respond to the challenge. As they have for the whole weekend, Latvala and co-driver Mika Anttila look composed inside that Fiesta. Jari utterly focused on the road ahead, bit of a twitch on the landing, into the flying finish. Yes, 7.6 seconds quicker, and that is another big step towards his second Sweden victory.
Jari, seeing that time go up there must be a big relief.
Yeah, it gives a bit more relaxed feeling now. Also difficult stage. This is the middle section there, very narrow, twisty section, was very, very tricky. I think people have gone a bit off the road as well. There was lines going to the ditches and so on, but we managed to do it quite good, so I was pleased with that.
Latvala's lead up to more than half a minute then, with Hirvonen seeming to concede defeat already. The battle for third continues to build, however. Østberg is now just 9.4 seconds behind Petter Solberg. It's been a great start to the final day for Latvala. Can he hold on for the win? Find out after this short break. Welcome back to Rally Sweden. We still have 5 stages to run here in the Frozen Forests, including the bonus points power stage. Jari-Matti Latvala is still the man to beat, but that fight for third just keeps getting closer. Yevgeny Novikov really has impressed this weekend in a solid 5th place. But the Russian youngster needs to show his maturity now. He is Sebastian Loeb's next target. No huge dramas though. Again, he still holds a 45-second advantage over the world champion, but he is slower through this stage. Mikko Hirvonen in second place is beginning to run out of time if he's to win this battle of psychological warfare with his former teammate. He needs to push hard and pile on the pressure, but Mikko looks to be taking no risks out there. And there are still some incredibly fast sections on this final morning, so he can't back off completely. Breathtaking stuff from the Citroen man here. Well, despite these speeds, Mikko seems to be accepting defeat this morning, and this is the man he's conceding it to. Jari-Matti Latvala looking for a clean run through. We've seen in the past that the Finn has on occasion let the pressure get to him and make a silly mistake on the final day. So far, so good in here, though. And just look at this incredible view from directly above. An iconic winding stretch of road in this famous rally. Jari power sliding through this sequence of corners. Terrific car control. And let's keep an eye on the clock. How will he compare to Mikko? 4.7 seconds quicker, and that confirms Hirvonen's bid is looking increasingly bleak. There is, however, a battle raging behind. Mads Østberg has got off to an absolute flyer this morning, closing in on Petter Solberg, trying to take that third place back from his fellow Norwegian. Set-up problems have plagued Mads earlier in the weekend, but he does look quick through these bumpy final day stages. Here comes Petter. He needs to dig deep now. There is a lot at stake. He will not want to be beaten by the younger Norwegian driver in a customer Ford Fiesta. He's clearly trying hard and is fast approaching the finish line. But he's slower again, and that's also a stage win for Mads as well. With Latvala extending his lead at the top, surely he can now cruise to victory this afternoon. But just look at the battle between Østberg and Solberg, separated by just 4.9 seconds.
Well, Mads, just 4.9 seconds behind Petter Solberg. Can you do it? Get that podium finish?
Yeah, of course. It's. I mean, it was 11 seconds this morning, and now it's just over 4 seconds. So I think it's definitely possible. We will push as hard as we can, and I will take just do the same speed as I've done now. I can do a bit more risks on the high speed.
Do you think you can hold Mats behind you? It's just 4.9 seconds.
Well, it will be hard for sure. You know, he have taken me on every stage this morning, and he took everybody now with 2 seconds on the last stage. So you really have to push on, I tell you, really hard.
Things seemingly more in control, though, for the rally leader.
Yeah, it's looking more, a little bit more relaxed now. But now the case is to try to keep the concentration on. I know Mikko is probably in a situation he wants to save his tires in the afternoon for the power stage and try to get some extra points. So I don't think he's going to attack anymore. But that's the case. Now you really need to focus to keep your concentration on.
Back out for the afternoon loop, and with the stages already fairly rough in the first pass, there is real concern this afternoon about the condition of the roads. So caution is the word for 10th place Eivind Brynildsen. On his debut in a World Rally car, the Norwegian is on course for his first ever WRC points. Further up the leaderboard, two of Eivind's compatriots, Mads Østberg and this man, Petter Solberg, are still locked in battle for third. Petter giving it everything here. Oh, but that was a big impact. And I think he's picked up a puncture immediately. Yep, front right, you can see it. He drops 30 seconds and concedes third place to Østberg.
Petter, obviously we saw the splits getting slower and slower. We can see what's happened. Did you clip anything?
It's just a lot of rocks out there, and that's it. Touched one, and then that's it. So, very disappointed.
Well, that's a real shame. The closest battle on the leaderboard could have been decided by a rock in the road. Rally leader Latvala seems to have this result under control. Oh, but I think he's hit a rock as well. This has suddenly turned into a nightmare stage for Ford. Like Petter, it's a front right puncture. Thankfully, Jari Mäti's built up a healthy lead over Hirvonen, but more than 27 seconds are slashed from his advantage.
There's a rock I've never ever seen on this stage. It just had come to the ruts on the big wide road. I've never ever seen this rock, and I just felt it when it hit it, and that's the way it is. So now I need to push in Drammen.
It's all very close again now.
Yeah, it's close again, man. So, but let's see. Should be quite okay still.
A dramatic final afternoon, then Latvala will get that wheel changed. He now holds a lead of just over 8 seconds. After hunting down Petter Solberg for the last day and a half, third place has now been handed on a plate to Mads Osberg. Lots of Norwegian support on the stages, and Mads is 24 seconds ahead of Petter going into the final stage. And this has become a crucial stretch of road for Citroen's flying Finn Mikko Hirvonen. Suddenly, he's been handed a lifeline. The two-time Sweden winner can sense there is a chance of a third victory on this incredible event, and he's on a mission out there in stage 23.
It was tricky, you know, there's so much stones and gravel on that stage that, you know, my front tires, they do feel quite bad already. But, you know, we'll see. I had a good time, you know. I was happy with the car again, so I was enjoying.
That puncture must have rattled Jari Mäti, but this has been an admirable response from the rally leader. With his lead slashed to just over 8 seconds, he has to give it everything. And as he bears down on the finish line, he should beat Mikko this time. Yes, 4.5 seconds quicker than his compatriot. A fine effort under intense pressure. Latvala's lead is back to 12.9 seconds with only one stage remaining, and late heartbreak for Petter Solberg. With the end in sight, the four-man slips out of the podium positions. What a finale we have on our hands in Sweden. Will it be Hirvonen or will Latvala hang on? Just the power stage remains. Extra points up for grabs for the fastest three. Join us after the break where we'll crown a rally winner and get all the reactions from the service park. Don't go away. Welcome back to Sweden. We still have bonus points to be decided in the end of Rally Power Stage shortly. But first, a chance to see what happened today in the Super 2000 Support Series for cars with normally aspirated 2-litre engines. And what a weekend it's been for Per Ganna Andersson. The local star has dominated from start to finish on his home event, and after building up a huge advantage over the previous 2 days, his second SWRC victory on home soil is becoming a formality. There were still some increasingly rough stages to negotiate, and Craig Breen proved a wise head on young shoulders to stay out of trouble and bring his Ford Fiesta home in second. And in third was local driver Pontus Tiedemund. It's been a fine performance from the SWRC debutante. Not registered in the SWRC, but actually the highest placed S2000 finisher was Sébastien Ogier. Another fine drive from the Frenchman in the Volkswagen-run Skoda Fabia saw him finish in 11th overall. But Proton's PG Anderson claims the SWRC win.
It's fantastic. We're so happy for the team as well. It's been working hard now for many seasons without any really good results, and now we can show on my home ground how strong the car is, and that I'm still a capable driver.
Anderson's winning margin more than 3.5 minutes over Breen. Tiedemund finishes just over a minute behind Craig, and Hayden Paddon coming through a difficult weekend to claim fourth. In the championship standings, Breen's second place and his Monte Carlo win see him take an early lead. Anderson slots into second after his Sweden success. So to the final challenge of this dramatic weekend, the 4.6-kilometre blast around the Hagfors Power Stage. Bonus points on offer for the top three finishers and a tricky finale through a twisty, undulating ski run. Sebastian Loeb's had a miserable weekend by his high standards. A number of costly incidents have put paid to any hopes he had of claiming a second Sweden win. So the power stage represents a last chance for a few bonus points. A huge jump from Seb there. He will get 3 extra points if he claims the fastest time. And as expected, the world champion is giving it everything here, despite the bumpy, rutted surface. Stage cleared and rally finished for Loeb. It was some effort, and that time will be the benchmark. Mats Osberg has already achieved the podium place he's been fighting for over the last 3 days, so it's unlikely he'll risk all to match that effort from Loeb. But this still looks like a committed run from the multiple Norwegian national champion. He has local expertise alongside him in the shape of Swedish co-driver Jonas Andersson, but they're not going to get close to Loeb's time. 7.4 seconds slower, but it doesn't worry Mads. His podium finish is secure. Having held on to third place for so long, Petter Solberg will be a frustrated man inside that Fiesta. But that puncture a couple of stages back has ended his hopes of a second successive podium finish. Petter seems determined to snatch a couple of power stage points. One last push, he's slower than Loeb, but that is the second best time so far. So just the rally leader to come now, and what a performance this has been from Jari-Matti Latvala. Ford's #1 survived that late puncture scare in emphatic style, and while he won't want to risk his 6th career victory for a power stage win, he might snatch a couple of extra points here. He's not going to match Loeb, but can he take second position from Petter? Not quite, but that is enough for third in the power stage. More importantly, it's the second Sweden victory for Latvala, and that will mean a lot to Jari and co-driver Mika Anttila.
Fantastic. I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you.
Celebrations for Ford and Loeb's power stage win means an extra 3 points for the world champion. Solberg gets 2 for the second fastest time and a bonus point for the rally winner, Jari-Matti Latvala.
It was my first time when I won this. It was back in 2008 and I became the youngest ever winner World Championship rally, and at that time I was beating my idol Henri Toivonen's record, so it's fantastic to win a rally again, and it's my first time when I win the same rally 2 times.
A really hard-fought win, but Latvala was the victor by a margin of 16.6 seconds over former teammate Kievan, and Osberg claims third, with Petter Solberg having to settle for 4th after his puncture. And that's how the results translated to points. Latvala getting 26, and Loeb's power stage win brings him some consolation from a disappointing weekend. For Latvala and the Ford team, though, it's been an emphatic way to claim their first win of 2012, and also marks M Sport's 50th victory with the Blue Oval.
It's been great sport. I mean, I think those 2 guys have been having such a wind-up. I think Jari couldn't believe that Mikko could be like he was, because obviously they've been teammates for so long. But no, it's been good sport, and we knew that Mikko would be the guy to beat here, and it's proved to be the case. But I'm pleased to see that Jari's come out on top.
It's been really great, and I really enjoyed it, even though, he beat me this time. But it's been fantastic, really great atmosphere, and he's growing up as well, getting older and more consistent. So it's not so easy to wind him up and get him nervous. But there's more rallies to come in. But it's not too bad. First and second for Finland, so it's good.
In the drivers' standings, Sebastian Loeb leads. He's 7 points ahead of his Citroën teammate Kievan, with Petter Solberg the leading Ford in third. Latvala's win marks his first points of the year after his Monte Carlo crash. In the manufacturers' competition, Citroën are up front on 65 points, but Ford are already hunting them down. The Blue Oval now just 10 points further back. A hard-fought win for Latvala and co-driver Mika Anttila. They get the celebration started on the Karlstad Finnish podium. It's definitely got their season up and running, and the championship fight has burst into life here in Sweden. In just a few weeks' time, the WRC Circus ships off to warmer climes in the North American continent for Rally Mexico. A fiesta atmosphere and rough, tough gravel stages. It's not to be missed. It's been a sensational weekend in frozen Scandinavia. We hope you've enjoyed all the drama. We'll leave you with the best of the action from round 2. And from all of us here in Sweden, it's goodbye.
a good day, but the morning was not perfect because I was struggling with the car.
You know, we're still in a good fight, so I just have to push really hard tomorrow.
Je m'attendais pas à me retrouver à me battre contre Sébastien Loeb à mon âge si tu veux, mais bon, ça fait plaisir quoi, c'est vraiment génial.